Hey everybody, it's YouTube.tv, YouTube, Twitter, everybody. It's your man here, Jordan14. We're back with a new video, and this is a performance review that I started and then I never got around to finishing, so I figured, might as well finish it for people who may watch the video later or, just come to the channel later or whatever. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Today's video is the Zoom Kobe Nike 7, and this is the Supreme version, of course. And we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it here. As always, I do start with the inner of the shoe, and it's like I always say, it really doesn't matter how good the fit, the cushioning, the support, the traction, all those vital attributes are. If the shoe is rubbing the skin off your foot because of a hot spot in the shoe, then all of those things are going to be rendered null and void because you're not going to wear the shoe. I'm pleased to say on this one, and this really is becoming more and more standard on basketball shoes, period. The collar and even below being lined with a very smooth material here that doesn't have any real raised seams and won't cause you any hot spots or anything like that. I'm pleased to say that on the 7 here. I mean, there are some seams, and I'm going to pull out the Play Fast that I'm not using. Whoops. There are some seams, hopefully you can see it, right there behind the tongue, but they're sewn in a way, they're not raised or anything, and they're sewn in a way that they're really smooth to the touch, and they don't cause you any problem. So the inner comfort, at least from that standpoint, was not an issue with the Kobe 7. I'll get to that, the rest of it a little later. But moving down here to the traction area, the outsole, what you've got here, really you've got a section of herringbone right here, well, a predominant section here that takes up really a large majority of the medial side of the forefoot here, really over half of the forefoot area. And then in the heel and then I guess more or less of the lateral forefoot area, what you've got is this kind of the design here, but the net result of all this was actually very good traction. And what I've been doing, particularly as of late with my reviews here, is I try to play on a variety of courts and surfaces indoor, of course. Just in terms, some surfaces are cleaner than others, just different environments just to see how the shoe reacts. And I did the same with this, and I'm happy to report actually the traction on the Kobe 7 was very good. It's actually one of the highlights of the shoe, but it was very good. It was so good that it caused problems. And again, I'm going to come back to that. Of course, sliding up to the midsole, as everyone, and the cushioning, everyone knows that the big thing was that with the Kobe 7s is these removable insoles here. And of course, you've got two, the Play Fast, which has bottom-loaded zoom here, and I call it a full-length across zoom back here inside of a Phylon midsole. And then this is the Play Strong, and then this is just full-length Cushlon. And then of course you've got your chassis there. Actually, I like the Play Fast. A big fan of Zoom Air. I love the low profile. I love the responsiveness. I love how it feels, and it was actually implemented very well on the Kobe 7, and particularly in the heel, because it's bottom loaded zoom bag. I don't know if it's a 10mm bag, but it is huge. It's one of the the biggest zoom bags I've seen on a shoe in quite some time. And it definitely does its job. Surprisingly, and this is just by the slightest of margin, I actually preferred the Play Strong. I really, really have become a fan of Cushlon, and even wearing the CP3 5s, Podulon as well. I really like what they're doing with this foam base cushioning. It feels great right out of the box. It's for me no break-in time, and it felt every bit as good as the Zoom Air, and I would venture to say even a little better. So if I had a gun to my head and had to pick one, I would actually go with the Play Strong, just for me. Maybe if you're a tad bit big, of course, this is a perimeter-oriented shoe. You may want to take a look at the Zoom. But either way, whatever you pick, you'll be very, very pleased. The cushion on the Kobe 7 is definitely outstanding. Now, moving up to the upper and the fit here. As you can see, once again, you've got the synthetic upper with the skin wire here. And on this one, of course, I've got the Play Strong insert up. Fit on the Kobe 7. This is where the problems began. And I think to demonstrate, I'll show you on this one. As I said earlier, when I was talking about the inner, it is actually sculpted to help cradle that Achilles area and enhance the fit in that area. However, on both of them, and you can tell right here, this lip that extends out, it extends up about right here into the shoe, and then it covers up a lot of that padding. So it renders a lot of that sculpted padded area null and void, and your foot can't sink, for lack of a better term, sink down into the footbed and really allow the padded material right here to grab hold of your heel. So I was getting a lot of heel slip. About as bad as I felt. It's right up there with the Hirachi B-Ball 2012s. It's that sloppy. And when I was wearing them, I would keep stomping my foot down, and people would ask me what was I doing, and I felt like I was trying to put my foot down more into the shoe to really try to get it to grab hold, and it just wouldn't because of that. It wouldn't. There's nothing there to do that, you know. And this one it's just Phylon, and then the other one it's just foam, so it's not really Cushlon, excuse me. So it's not gonna grab it the way the padded sculpted foam would here inside the inner. And so I was getting a lot of heel movement, and it's really bad. You know, I guess you could trim that right there, but then, you know, if you're paying $180, you know, for a shoe, why should you have to go through the work of redesigning it for the better? That should have already been done. So the heel fit was atrocious. There's just no sugarcoating. It was absolutely atrocious. It was very noticeable on the court, and it was indeed a major distraction and a detraction away from the performance of the shoe. As far as the rest of the fit, it was fair to decent. It wasn't bad. Just a couple issues on my part from not lacing my shoes up tight. I had a few issues with the laces. One of the shoes continuously coming untied. It wasn't exactly the true lockdown fit that I would have liked. That was even on the Kobe 5, the Kobe 6, and many of the other shoes that I've reviewed over the past year or so. But it wasn't. It was fair. It was fair to decent. I'll say that. No real excessive movement, really from here up. But this area here was so bad, it overshadowed any positives that the rest of the fit would have given me. So that was a real big letdown, and I'm hoping in the upcoming Kobe 8, that's something that will be and needs to be addressed. Another area, and this kind of ties in to the, well, not really cushioning, but it's a fit related issue here. It seems that this implementation of the removable midsole, this in conjunction with the chassis here, in combination with actually wearing the shoe, it just didn't come together to form a symbiotic performance relationship. And what I mean by that is, while you had some heel movement within the shoe, a problem was you would kind of have some midsole movement within the shoe. And there was many times, for instance, you'd be playing defense or slide or making a hard cut, and the traction on these assets is really good. So it would do its job and stop. But the midsole would keep going a little bit. So as your foot would stop, it would kind of, you could kind of feel your foot still continuing to move. And I think in combination with a horrible heel fit, that could potentially not only, that could be an injury waiting to happen. Just with excessive internal foot movement. I'm a firm believer that can lead to an injury, because if your foot is moving in somewhere it shouldn't, that's when bad things can happen. But just from a performance standpoint, you have to kind of stop your momentum and allow the shoe to catch up with what you're trying to do. And particularly, if you're playing in a very competitive situation, and some of the higher levels of basketball, or just a very competitive person, wherever you play, that split second or that second or whatever can negate an advantage that you may have, or give your opponent an advantage. And for a shoe that's modeled after a predator on the court like Kobe Bryant, that was a real big letdown. And I don't know if it seems the implementation, I thought, of this on the Jordan 2012 or even the 2011 was much, much better. And I think perhaps, I don't know if it's because of, like on this one, the bottom loaded bag, but if it was textured a little more here, something along how the inner boot on the Jordan 2012 is, just something that was a little maybe more adhesive or abrasive, or something that would stick to the bottom of the footbed here on the chassis, it would really alleviate that problem, because it was, again, and just like the heel slip issue, that was something that was very noticeable, and it kind of makes you do some things different on the court, because your foot, the midsole, and I guess through that your foot is moving excessively around in the shoe. So that was a major issue as well. And if they, because I just saw a teaser pic of the Kobe 8, if they're going to go with a similar system to this, then that's another issue that has to be addressed: the excessive midsole movement within the shoe. Because when you're removable, when you have something that's removable in a system like this, you don't want, the only movement you want is when you move it out of the shoe and move it back in. When you're playing, it should be locked in place, and that's not 100% the case with these. Support, again, it's not that good on these for the aforementioned reasons. While the shoe, because it has a slight outrigger here, it really didn't tip over. I didn't have any tipping over issues. But the excessive heel movement, and then, because even when I was wearing these, a lot of people at the gym was asking, did this do anything in terms of support? Because I seem to be displeased overall. No. This is, I don't want to say lightweight, but it's just a stretchy, elastic material. There's nothing rigid in it, as you can see, that would hold your ankle in place. It's more for aesthetics and then the mental perception that it's doing something. But from a pure standpoint, here, no, it doesn't do anything. Um, the support as far as from an ankle standpoint is all right, but it's definitely not mitigating, and it's actually detracted from, like I said, from the heel issues, the midsole issues, as far as the movement and everything. So if you do wear these and you've had to wear braces, definitely continue to do so in these. And really, just wrapping up one other midsole issue, I did have. It was more so on the play strong than it was on the play fast. Right here, I'll try to zoom in so you can see it. I had a slight pinching issue close to where this is where your foot would bend here. Sometimes it would kind of pinch into my foot there, and I've had some people, such as Nightwing and some other people, who've cut that there, and that's alleviated that problem, and maybe that's something to look into. But again, paying $180. Yeah, these are what, $180? Yeah, $180. Again, I shouldn't have to redesign it or do these things. These things should be already taken care of. But if you're wearing these and you're having a similar issue, which I did, it wasn't necessarily painful, but it was kind of disconcerting to feel that digging in, or pinching your foot right there. So you may want to go ahead and cut that. But that's really wrapping up the Kobe 7 review. It was a shoe coming off the 5 and the 6. I was really looking forward to playing in, and I started playing in it, and I was disappointed just based off the expectations that I had. It's not a total do not recommend, i.e. The B-Ball 2012s, the Hirachis, but it's definitely one I would advise to proceed with caution. To wear your braces, be mindful of the pinching issue, of the heel fit issue. You may want to trim down that area to perhaps alleviate that problem. The cushioning and the traction are great, but the fit issues are just more than I really could deal with, and really, this is not a shoe I will probably be reaching for now that the testing is done for these. So definitely proceed with caution on these. But this is your man Air Jordan 14 signing off. Appreciate everyone who's been watching the review. Stay tuned. We'll have some more videos coming up here real soon, and just wishing everyone peace and happy kicks.